Game Text+Supernatural Talent+Plot Flow+Easy and Fun+Old 6 Summoning Beasts+High Martial Summoning beasts isn't the strength of a summoner related to their intellectual attributes. What kind of ghost is doubling the strength of a leveling up spell? After being relegated for 3 years, Chen, who had endured all his hardships, obtained a supernatural talent called Speak Freely, Speak with Ease, initial state. All elements listen to commands. Magic chant prefix. None, the wind is rising. Chen murmured a sentence in a low voice, and in an instant, the strong wind howled, and the towering tree was blown off by the waste Thunderbolt. The clear sky suddenly saw thunderclouds rolling and thunder exploding, causing the smoking plane to fall from the distance. Looking at a group of female soldiers on the street, he boldly attempted sword. The sword shed its sheath and took off with its iron underpants into the sky. Feeling the baptism of divinity, awakening the contract of SSS level Heavenly Dao. Elevating the bloodline level of summoning beasts to achieve true evolution. Passerby A, aren't you a summoner? A summoner is a fragile skin with no binding power. You should have been hiding behind a summoner, shivering and trembling. How could you be so strong? Passerby B, summoning a beast to act as a thug to brush pictures. Drinking tea behind him doesn't mean he's weak. Is there a possibility that he just disdains, doesn't need to, make a moveEveryone? The summoning beast is already stronger than the boss of the hell-level dungeon, and is he even stronger? Damn it, is there any natural reason? Chapter 1. Supernatural Talent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Launching, Longwa, Fengqing Second Middle School. Brain Storage Area, have you all received the body value table from this year's Eternal Tower survey? The profession you can transfer to is marked after the numerical value. Most people have 2 or more choices, while a few have only 1 or even none. Those who have only one career choice and this profession is a vulnerable hero in the early stages such as Elemental Mage, Gun Cannon, and Ranger, don't lose heart. Show yourself well, maybe you can awaken a high-level talent in the awakening ceremony. If you don't have any profession, it means you won't be able to attend this awakening ceremony. Class 5 of Career Awakeners, with the homeroom teacher's usual advice, couldn't help but glance at a young man in the corner of the back seat when he mentioned that there was no career awakening. The classmates in the class also looked at him autonomously. The young man has eyebrows and starry eyes, a well-proportioned and handsome figure, but he is somewhat thin and has a feeling of malnutrition. Faced with the gaze of the crowd, Chen didn't take it seriously, or rather, he had long become accustomed to this kind of gaze. As the only student in the school who has been repeating a grade for 3 years, there is indeed a high probability that he will fail again. The choice of profession determines your life, and when making a choice, you must consider your own practical conditions. The teacher still suggests that you prioritize tanks for warrior and auxiliary professions. The employment rate of these 2 professions is very high, and they can play a huge role in the team in the early, middle, and later stages. The most crucial point is that they do not require money to build combat power. New martial arts professions, such as gunners and mechs, have exorbitant material and modification costs, which ordinary people cannot afford to play. Mage. It's too weak in the early stages, which one is free of advanced equipment or magic books. These weak and dynamic early stages require millions or even millions to ensure that you transition to a growing career. Do you have such families here? So, I hope everyone has self-awareness and must not take the wrong path. One wrong step, there is no way back. Today is the annual awakening ceremony, and before entering the Eternal Tower, the homeroom teacher mobilizes and earnestly reminds. I am afraid that some students, who are young and full of energy, may choose careers that they should not have chosen, so I have repeatedly emphasized this. If there are no objections, prepare and we will team up to the Eternal Tower for the awakening ceremony later. After finishing speaking, the homeroom teacher went downstairs to contact the class bus parking location. And after he left, Banley suddenly started making a scene. After enduring for 3 years, it can be considered as a breakthrough, and I will soon awaken. Just thinking about it makes me excited. It's a bit early to get excited now. The professions shown in the test data are only those that you may successfully transfer to, and there is also a chance of failure. The probability is almost negligible, and I won't be so unlucky. Besides, my various values are good, and I have 3 professions to choose from. Even if I can't choose a warrior, I can still choose shield warfare and pastor, both of which have bright employment prospects. I envy you, unlike me. The data is a bit lacking, and the best choice is only to choose Fatten. In addition, I can only choose professions like Ancient Martial Fist. It is said that compared to warriors, these professions require much more physical training, but their combat power may not necessarily be as strong as warriors. It's hard. Isn't Goo good? At least in the early stages, you don't need to spend a penny, and when you join a martial arts school, you almost recruit one by one. TSK, you guys are all at Versailles. As everyone chatted, someone noticed Chen in the corner. Hey, you guys say, there won't really be anyone on the evaluation form, not a single profession, right? Anyway, I haven't seen it before, but according to the senior, it seems like Chen didn't have any career in the past 2 years and didn't even participate in the awakening. Ah. This is too tragic, isn't it? What's the point of him persevering? Spending so much money, what kind of book is he coming to read? If you ask me, it's better to enter society. It's time to recognize reality, and being an ordinary person is also quite good. Maybe, I'm not willing to accept it. So his grades this year. Who knows, it's probably not good to see him sitting in a depressed position. On the seat, Chen held his personal numerical table with both hands, but his eyes stared fixedly at a deep groove below the table. This ravine was drawn by him with his fingernails over the past 3 years. He remained silent not because of poor grades, but because he was liberated and finally liberated. He was so excited that he wanted to cry. Does anyone know how he spent these 3 years? He suffered a lot of cold looks and ridicule. 3 years, exactly 3 years. Ding, the 1000th check.in was successful. Ding, congratulations to the host for coming through all the hardships and obtaining the supernatural level talent. Speak your words and act your way. Speak with ease. In the initial stage, which can be advanced, the affinity of elements between heaven and earth reaches 100%, and the control power is 100%. It can achieve arbitrary control. With one command, the elements in the world will take you as the leader and obey your commands. This talent does not belong to any job transfer profession, only belongs to the host individual's talent attribute, and has a certain chance of triggering God's guidance. The specific effect needs to be explored. Please complete the awakening within 24 hours and accept the baptism of the Eternal Tower, otherwise this talent will enter a state of slumber. Superdivine level talent, all elements obey my commands. In this world, the Heavenly Alliance divides awakening levels from low to high into F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, and SSS levels. B. level is a genius selected from 100 miles, A. level is a genius selected from 1,000 miles, and S. level is already unparalleled. There are millions of people participating in awakening in a province every year, and there are only a few S. level talents, indicating their level of appreciation. As for SS level and SSS level, they are national treasures and will definitely be included in the key training list. As long as they do not fall, they are at least the existence of one side's general's divine level talent only exists in ancient texts. According to legend, a talent that appeared at the beginning of the arrival of the Eternal Tower was even more abnormal than the SSS level. The first generation of strong people to establish the Dragon Kingdom was a divine level talent. And the supernatural level talent is above the divine level talent. Although I don't quite understand the specific purpose of this talent attribute, based on its unique talent level and powerful introduction, Chen can confirm that it is very strong. The affinity for elements has reached its limit, and I can speak freely. Can you say that with just one casual sound, I can create a magic spell? After analyzing word by word and sentence by sentence, it was determined that it meant this. Chen was extremely excited, and his heart was so dirty that it couldn't stop pounding. He is eager to change jobs and is eager to verify his hypothesis. Chapter 2. Career Transfer, Summoner. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Eternal Tower has descended, ushering in an era of nationwide job transfers. This is a world where dimensional space and reality overlap, and the volume of the entire continent has expanded thousands of times, with various exotic creatures entering through the entrance of space. Demon-infested dungeons and secret realms have been formed around the world. Human beings rely on the Eternal Tower to awaken and switch professions, gain the power to fight against aliens, and improve their combat level by absorbing Warcraft crystal energy, experience. Now, Chen is following the school bus to the Eternal Tower in Fengjiang City for awakening and job transfer. The ceremony has begun. Students from No. 2 Middle School are requested to enter the Awakening Land in batches according to the order of each class. In front of the Eternal Tower, there is a huge golden light screen blocking it. Several professional staff members open a light door in the light screen and guard the door to check student identification. Those who shout their names enter the Awakening Light Array. Inside the lampshade stands a stone tablet with a middle-aged mage holding a staff, who is the commander in charge of this awakening ceremony. In front of him stood a professional square formation, with a distance of 2 meters between them. There were more than 10 magic tower patterned magic formations on the open ground. The magic circle is golden, with mysterious runes engraved on it, slowly rotating. The sense of ceremony is so strong, I suddenly became nervous. Is this the awakening formation introduced in the textbook? Through special magical runes, the power of the Eternal Tower is drawn and infused into the person at the center of the formation. That's right, it's this magic formation. Look at those formations surrounded by specialized wizards who control them. It's said that wizards are one of the most expensive professions. It's really amazing to see so many high-level wizards at once. I don't know if I can transfer to become a warrior as I wish. Oh Eternal God, please bless me. Don't worry, the results of the job transfer and the evaluation report are almost the same. As long as you don't randomly choose, it's okay. It's impossible to choose randomly, but I really don't want to choose shield battles. I clearly like mages, and the life of shield battles is too boring. Do you want to listen to the class teacher or stick to yourself? Sweat. It's the last step. Don't fall off the chain when it's critical. Listen to my brother's advice. As a mage, normal people can't afford it. Listen to people's advice, eat your fill and weigh your own weight. The students saw so many shocking scenes and whispered below, with various voices of discussion. Chen also saw this scene for the first time. In the first 2 awakening ceremonies, he didn't even have the qualification to take a bus to the Eternal Tower. Due to his various attributes, he is not suitable for any career transfer. And this time, his data table looks like this. Name. Chen. Strength. 5.8 Physical Fitness. 4.3 Intelligence. 8.1 Agility. 5.5, the above is a passing line of 6.0. If one of the data is below 4.0, no job transfer awakening can be carried out. Identify suitable professions for job transfer. Summoner. That's right, Chen's 4-dimensional attributes and intelligence are far higher than those of normal people, but his other 3-dimensional attributes have not even reached the passing line. Especially in terms of physical fitness, it's about to hit rock bottom. However, this is not that Chen lacks talent, but rather that he has deliberately done it over the years. When others do exercises, he sits, when others exercise, he lies down. Why? It's because 3 years ago, he bound the check.in system. This system can only sign in at designated locations, and the sign-in location is his current class, which requires him to sign in continuously for 1,000 days. As long as there is a day of interruption in between, it will explode and perish with the host. Such a proud and delicate system, Chen really appreciates it. He is very desperate, but in order to survive, he can only endure. He made himself degenerate, lying flat so that he could not attend the job transfer ceremony if his physical fitness did not meet the standard. Otherwise, once he successfully awakens, he will not be able to return to the class and sign in at his own position. So, he was relegated and spent 3 years in high school, just to avoid being killed by his own system. He is the on-duty model in the class, because Monday's on-duty students can have the classroom door key, making it convenient for Chen to sign in on weekends. He is a confused worm in the eyes of the gatekeeper. After all, Chen's memory is so bad that he forgets to bring his homework book every weekend. He is the object of resentment in the eyes of all teachers, and a pillar of shame for the school. Who can understand the feeling of watching my former junior and senior students reach the same level as me, and then become my senior and senior students to go to college first? In the cold, summer, and autumn, Chen checked in day after day, and finally, the disheveled boy gathered his check.in fragments. Successfully unbind the system, obtain supernatural talent, and endure hardships and hardships. Is he easy? It was precisely because he calculated his days and knew that he could successfully complete his 1,000th day of attendance this year. He began to recover and exercise, and worked hard to catch up, ultimately bringing his physical fitness to 4.0 or above. Strength and agility have also increased by 0.5 and 0.4, respectively. But there is still a gap between the qualified line. After all, it has been abandoned for so long, and it is not realistic to achieve success in one step. This also leads to him only being qualified for intelligence, while there is only one job transfer that is related to intelligence and has low requirements for the other 3 values. That's Summoner Chen is not interested in the summoner profession, but he has no choice. The system only gave him 24 hours. If he doesn't wake up, the supernatural talent will enter a state of deep sleep. Compared to supernatural talents, what is a profession? As long as your talent is strong enough, even with a kitchen knife, you can treat Warcraft like a melon. Zhang Shua, Ma Mingfei, Wang Jihao, Chen, Peng Fei came to the awakening land to undergo awakening and job transfer. Soon, it's Chen's turn. A group of people stood on different magic formations, beginning to awaken. As the magician sang, the magic circles spun rapidly, and golden beams of light descended from within the Tower of Eternity, covering them. Young man, your demon is stirring up. Come and choose to be my companion. Chen felt warm all over, and when he opened his eyes, he found a light and shadow appearing in front of him. An option appears above. Summoner, and the background light of this font is a picture of gazing into the abyss. Without hesitation, Chen made the choice. Congratulations on successfully transitioning to the summoner profession. Congratulations on awakening your professional talent. B.level talent bloodthirsty contract. B.level talent bloodthirsty contract. Consumes the summoner's own health points, allowing summoning life forms to enter a bloodthirsty state, and increases all attributes by 20% during battles. Activate superdivine talent. Speak your own words. Feeling the baptism of divine talent at the supernatural level, I began to absorb the energy of the eternal tower. Chen. B.level talent bloodthirsty contract receives baptism from God, successful advancement, bloodthirsty contract, B.level, King's Blood, A.level talent King's Bloodline. Summoners consume their maximum health, allowing summoned life to increase their bloodline and significantly increase their basic attributes. The more you consume the maximum health point, the greater the increase in blood vessels you can obtain, and the higher the basic attributes. The bloodline of an A.level gifted king, experiencing the baptism of divinity and successfully advancing, the bloodline of the king, A, the holy purification of the black angel, S level talent black angel's holy cleanse. Consumes maximum health, can transform summoned life forms, achieve qualitative transformation, and complete a series of upgrades, permanent. Chapter 3 Enlightenment. The end of talent is Krypton gold. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When many people outside heard Lu Chen's name, they couldn't help but focus their attention. After all, Lu Chen is also considered a celebrity in school. He didn't attend the job transfer ceremony in the first 2 years, but this time he is here. Everyone wants to see what kind of performance he will have. Among them, the majority are looking forward to having fun. Lu Chen. Is he the senior who has been relegated for 3 years? I didn't expect him to join the job transfer. It seems that his job transfer options are finally not empty this year. It is a unique honor to participate in the job transfer awakening with the senior of the school, which others have not experienced yet. He's qualified to participate, and his grades may not be very good, but it's better than continuing to repeat a grade. Just as they were discussing, the magic circles on the awakening land came to a halt one by one. According to the display on the magic ball, the staff read out their scores separately. Zhang Shua, transferred to the meat tank profession and has a talent assessment of level C. Ma Mingfei, transferred to the warrior profession and assessed his talent as D. level. Wang Zhihao, transferred to the position of Gu Wuquan Master, has been assessed as having an E. level talent. With the announcement of the results, several families are happy while others are worried. The student named Zhang Shua is 1.9 meters tall and has a strong physique. When he heard that he not only successfully transferred to Rutan, but also obtained a C. level talent, he looked up and cheered excitedly. Yeah, I'm a C. level talent, and my efforts have not been in vain. As for Wang Zhihao, who transferred to become a boxer and only had an E. level talent assessment, he looked regretful. He grabbed his head with both hands and looked disappointed, saying, "It's done. My talent is only E. level. With such poor talent, even if a boxing profession doesn't worry about employment, I can only be a gatekeeper in the future." At this moment, the previous expectations and aspirations for the future were completely gone. Reality is cruel. It is impossible for everyone to be a genius. If they can bloom as brightly as flowers, there will always be people who want to be like green leaves and soil. Everyone's testing has ended, except for a central magic circle halo still spinning. And the light on the magic crystal ball is indistinct, like a miniature desk lamp with low battery. Why are there still people who haven't finished transferring jobs? Isn't that person Lu Chen? Puff. He couldn't have failed to transfer because he was too weak, right? Humph, who knows, but the more useless it is, the more ink stains it becomes. A bunch of people are still waiting, because waiting for a low-level repeating student will have to drag on for a while. If you ask me, what's there to test? The energy it delivers to the magic crystal looks very weak, probably the lowest F. level. Even if it can't even reach F. level, then Class 5 will lose face this time and become everyone's laughing stock. At this moment, Lu Chen's magic crystal ball moved. Someone noticed and shouted, "Look, Lu Chen's data is out." Everyone's gaze turned to the magic crystal ball. Upon hearing this, the homeroom teacher of Class 5 also looked over with a solemn expression. The data shows that the staff has read out the transfer information of Lu Chen. Lu Chen transferred to the summoner profession and identified his talent as B. level. Quiet, the whole room fell into a brief silence, and many people who had originally thought of watching Lu Chen's jokes were speechless, like a mouthful of phlegm stuck in their throat, suffocating. How could this be? Does Lu Chen have a B. level talent? A student who has been repeating a grade for 3 years, even weak enough to not have the opportunity to participate in the transfer ceremony in the first 2 times, can be assessed as having B. level talent. Is that a mistake? No, the talent assessment of the Eternal Tower has never been wrong. Chen, it's really a B.level talent. C.level talent, a class can produce several, but B.level talent, a regular class can produce one or two, which is considered very good. Those who can achieve a B.level are basically the top students in the class. And now, Chen from class 5 is actually B.level, beating those guys who didn't like Chen just now. They teased and looked down, feeling proud and complacent, waiting to see Chen's joke, only to find out that they were the one who made the joke. Is a repeating student they look down on having a higher talent than those with a strong sense of superiority. This result is even more unbearable than killing them. It is said that smiles can shift, and this smile shifts from their faces to the face of the homeroom teacher in class 5. The least optimistic student has created a miracle and awakened their B.level talent. Surprisingly, this year's full performance, there is no need to worry. Just as they thought Chen's achievements would come out, the awakening ceremony of the magic circle would stop. To everyone's surprise, the light array continued to operate, even faster than before. What's going on? The staff also realized something was wrong and tried to control the formation to stop, but he found that the formation had completely lost control. Ding! The array began to operate at high speed, and a beam of light several hundred times larger than before surged out of the Eternal Tower, directly enveloping the entire awakening land. The dazzling golden light blinded everyone. At this point, Chen in the divine consciousness space no longer knew what words to use to describe the situation he was currently facing. He originally thought that after transferring to become a summoner and awakening a B.level talent in his profession, the ceremony should have ended. Unexpectedly, the supernatural talent was activated, and the supernatural talent began to endlessly suck up the energy of the Eternal Tower. Then, under his incredible attention, the B.level talent on the attribute panel underwent a visible transformation. Oh no, it was evolution. Evolved from B.level to S.level, and there is no trend to stop. S-level talent. Black Angel's holy purification feels the baptism of divinity. Successfully advanced, Black Angel's holy purification, S, Holy Spring Fountain, SS level talent Holy Spring Fountain. Consumes maximum health, can summon life, complete a series of upgrades, permanent, and all skills and built that in passive of summoning life can be used by summoners. SS level talent Holy Spring Fountain feels the baptism of divinity, advanced successfully, Holy Spring Fountain, SS, Heavenly Way Contract, SSS level talent Heavenly Way Contract. By consuming money, or the maximum health limit, summoning life forms can undergo a transformation, achieve qualitative transformation, complete a series of upgrades, permanent, and all skills and inherent passivity of summoning life forms can be used by summoners. In the end, the talent level was frozen at SSS level. Chen looked at the attributes above and it took him a while to react. After all, it was the first time he had encountered such a situation. He had heard of someone who could elevate his class bloodline, but this kind of talent could be improved, and he had already it's completely beyond his understanding. B.level talents consume health points to enhance the combat power of summoning beasts, while A.level to SS.level talents all consume maximum health, making themselves more fragile even when they are already fragile, and then exchanging varying degrees of strength for summoning beasts. Starting at level S can completely change the level of a summoning beast, fundamentally altering its talent. This effect is simply incredible. SSS level is even more exaggerated. In the past, it was necessary to sacrifice one's maximum health at the cost. Now, there is no need for any personal loss, and money can be used directly to replace it. He realized. Originally, the end of talent is Krypton gold. Chapter 4. Wind, rain, thunder, and thunder listen to my orders. You are listening at novel full.audio. I think this kind of change is definitely related to supernatural talents. Is this the effect of the so-called divine guidance? For the time being, Chen can only understand it this way. A certain mechanism in the supernatural level talent triggered the energy changes of the Eternal Tower, allowing his own talent to receive the baptism of divinity, thus completing a series of advancements and ultimately evolving from a B. level talent to an SSS level talent. Well, it should be like this. The dazzling golden light only lasted for a moment. When everyone regained their sight, the running magic array had stopped, and Lu Chen walked out of the awakening place. Just now, what happened? The staff member had lingering palpitations, but after inspecting it, they found that there was no abnormality in the magic circle. Strange, what's going on with the palpitations and pressure just now? He glanced at the Eternal Tower behind him, sighed lightly, shook his head, and said, it could also be an illusion. Reorganizing his mood, he picked up the list and shouted for the next batch of students to enter the awakening land. Haha, that's great. Lu Chen, you're the student I've been with for the longest time. I'm so happy to see you successfully switch jobs. The summoner profession may not be particularly good, but with the blessing of B. level talents, it has great potential in the future. If the homeroom teacher is not excited, it is false. He has been hoping for Lu Chen to graduate successfully for more than a year or two. Now, not only has Lu Chen successfully transferred to another job, but he has also obtained a B. level talent, bringing double happiness. Don't worry, teacher. It's necessary. He can understand the mood of the homeroom teacher, and Lu Chen now has the confidence to say this sentence. The other classmates in the class looked complex, some came over to congratulate, while others stood still without a word. Their relationship with Lu Chen is usually quite harmonious, at least on the surface, they can achieve a harmonious atmosphere, but in fact, deep down, they feel that Lu Chen is different from them. Lu Chen is a repeat student, and his grades are at the bottom of the class. They have a sense of pity and care for him. But it is this kind of existence that has become the highest awakened talent level person in class 5 so far. This is like someone who has always felt like a poor student in your heart, and suddenly one day their grades are better than yours. The psychological gap makes it difficult for many people to accept. Emotions are unnatural, and jealousy is inevitable. Among these people who came to congratulate, how many of them have sincere smiles on their faces? Who knows? Lu Chen smiled and agreed a few words before leaving first. 3 years behind, he has successfully transferred to another job and must catch up quickly. My former brothers, childhood friends, and the girl who had feelings for me, they are all waiting for themselves in college. I don't know where their current professional level has reached. Lu Chen clenched his fist and no longer delayed, racing against time. In addition, he activated the supernatural talent of speak freely, and was eager to give it a try. Looking back at the score list behind it, it showed the B. level talent level before absorbing the energy of the Eternal Tower. Lu Chen turned around and left. His innate talent has reached the SSS level, and if retested, it will definitely be detected. But he doesn't intend to do so, and the reason is simple. Firstly, the SSS level talent level is too exaggerated, which will definitely shake the whole country. At that time, his awakening ceremony will be noticed by countless people, and the anomalies that occur here will inevitably be noticed by the higher-ups. At that time, he may not be able to conceal his absorption of the energy from the Eternal Tower. Secondly, there are many hostile forces in the Dragon Kingdom on Blue Star, and it is normal to have spies and assassins lurking in other countries. If luck is not good, Wind City happens to have high-level hidden assassins, and S-level is not enough. However, for the sake of an SSS-level seedling, he can spend years hibernating just to eliminate Lu Chen. A case like this occurred in a neighboring country before. In a small town, an SS-level archer was awakened, and the mayor was a spy who had been lurking in another country for many years. The transfer ceremony had not yet ended, and the SS-level archer was assassinated. Waiting for the experts from the military region to pick it up. The yellow cauliflower has cooled down. So Lu Chen's idea is that his current B. level talents can just be used to provide cover for himself. His combat effectiveness is too low now. When he has a certain level of strength and means to save his life, he will find a suitable opportunity to show his hand to the country. The effect is the same, more stable and safer. Mu Xiu will be destroyed by the wind in the forest, so let me build a few windproof walls first. Not long after Lu Chen left, many of the people who congratulated him just now had restrained their smiles and turned to show a look of disdain. Cut, what do you pretend to be? It's not that I don't know who you used to be. That's right, just after changing jobs, I looked very busy and different. I haven't seen him take it so seriously before. Oh, that's it. With B.level talent, if nothing unexpected happens, the entire grade can be ranked in the top 10. Unfortunately, his profession is summoner. Summoners are not very strong in the early stages, and few people are willing to deal with them. Their combat style is too unique. Right, who would a normal person change jobs as a summoner? Generally, only girls with weak bodies or those who are afraid of fighting would choose this profession. A man would choose a summoner. Humph, thinking about it makes me feel awkward and strange. But they can only choose summoners. To put it bluntly, he has no choice but to obtain a B.level talent, it's just luck. This kind of hero in the sewer can't go far. That's right, let alone the limitations of summoners in the early and middle stages. They can only contract some of the most basic warcraft like the Beast Master, and cannot summon powerful creatures from other worlds. What about the early and middle stages? How many summoners don't even have the early stages, they're just living brothers. Seeing people who used to be inferior to themselves rise up is their last resort to comforting each other. Lu Chen arrived at the abandoned building ruins near his home. The reason why it is called a ruins is because a few years ago it was still a abandoned building, but after learning that the unscrupulous developer had paid for it and fled, a high-level clergyman who bought a house in this property was furious and wiped it out with one axe. Apart from piling stones and tiles, this is a wasteland overgrown with weeds, and few people come. Lu Chen found a spacious area. After a successful job transfer, he found that his career panel was quite different from that of a serious summoner. Name: Lu Chen. Title: None. Occupation: Summoner level LV1, 0/100, HP, 600 strength. 13 physical fitness. 10 intelligence. 20 agility. 14 Faqiang. 15 affinity of 5 elements. 100% ray element affinity. 100% wind element affinity. 100% talent. Heavenly Way contract, SSS, summoning space status. Can store 1 summoning beast. Current contract number of Warcraft. 0 on the personal attribute list. He not only has various attributes of a summoner, but also has affinity attributes of various elements. This is a panel attribute that only elemental mages have. This is not the key yet. The key is that after a successful job transfer, most elemental mages have affinity values for elements ranging from 0.1% to 30%. A 5% affinity for elements is considered a genius, while 10% is considered a peerless genius. Speaking of talent, for elemental mages with S.level talents, their affinity for elements will not exceed 30%, and this 30% is only targeted at certain talent elements. Not all elements have such high affinity. Titles such as Son of Thunder, Son of Flame, and Daughter of Water God only have extremely strong affinity for certain elements. But Lu Chen is different. Lu Chen has a 100% affinity for all elements. What concept is this? The Lord of all elements, this statement is not an exaggeration at all. Elemental affinity not only determines your control over elements, but also determines your casting speed and upper casting limit. The simplest example is, being an elemental mage with the same skill and high affinity only requires 1 second of chanting, while you need 10 seconds. The same extraction of elements, the scope of magic, high affinity can easily extract elemental power from the body, and can unleash a wide range of magic explosions. But elemental mages with low affinity cannot do it. Element affinity is just as important as the spiritual roots of the fantasy world. Back then, the elemental mage who dominated the Kyushu continent was known as the strongest SSS-level talent among mages, and the affinity of the highest elemental was only 93%. 93%. I have 100% affinity for any element, right? Am I really that strong? Chen felt a bit dreamy, murmuring softly. Suddenly, a thought flashed through his heart. He slowly lifted his head and looked at the sky, closing his eyes slightly. He is looking for feelings. The wind. The wind is rising. Chen whispered a sentence. I don't know where the wind is blowing. The wind gradually grew stronger, forcing the wild grass on the wasteland to bow down and pay homage. Wow, in the next moment, a strong wind rises everywhere, and a fierce wind howls. A huge tornado rises from the ground, sweeping through the wind and clouds. Wherever it passes, it withers and decays, and green plants and trees are blown off by the wind. After a while, it gradually dissipated. Seeing this scene, Chen was stunned. Is this the wind he summoned? Being able to control the power of nature is so domineering, abnormal. Thunderbolt. With a preliminary attempt, this time, Chen raised his head slightly, facing the sky at a 45-degree angle, shouting with full vitality. He pointed at the sky with one hand and was extremely domineering. Sting. As the words fell, the originally clear sky suddenly shrouded in dark clouds, and lightning churned in the sea of clouds. Suddenly, a thunderbolt exploded from the distant sky, like a lightning python rushing down, bending and twisting, as if it was about to tear the day in half. Not long after, the dark clouds receded, and under the clear sky, a military helicopter emitting black smoke plummeted rapidly. Chapter 5. Tower Call, Thunder Hits Us. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A fire broke out on a hill. In the quiet mountains and forests, less than a kilometer away from the ignition point, the cute rabbit winged parachute slowly landed on a big tree, hooked by the edge of the branch, with a cool red-haired loli hanging below. Wild. Jia. Jia. The umbrella cloth was hooked by a branch, and the umbrella rope below was knotted. That loli was suspended by the rope, swaying back and forth. She didn't feel uneasy or struggle, calmly blowing her gum. Her chewing gum blowing technique is very good. She can blow it big and round, and then skillfully retract it into her mouth with her tongue. There is also a hint of enjoying the fun of swinging. Dong. 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 Not long after, there was a solemn sound of footsteps coming from nearby. A beautiful girl with black-framed glasses and skin so white that she almost dripped water drove over with a mecha. Looking at her companion trapped in a tree, calmly blowing gum, the girl supported her forehead, both angry and amused. I really can't do anything about you. After speaking, several sharp arrows shot out from behind the mecha, breaking the umbrella rope. Ah Lu. Red-haired loli, still immersed in herself, felt her body light and let out a whoosh as she fell down freely. Bo. The chewing gum that was blown halfway broke and covered her entire face. She pulled with her hand, but the rapid wind made it impossible for her to pull away. Just as she was about to land, a large steel hand grabbed her collar and, like a chicken, carried her to the beautiful girl in the driver's seat. Qianluo, your way of appearing is still so unique. Red-haired loli grabbed her clothes and jumped off the mech, helplessly spreading her hands. I don't want to either, Sister Peach. You know, I'm afraid of heights, and this damn parachute happened to hang on the treetop. She slowly pulled off the chewing gum stuck to her face and nose, kneaded it into a ball with her little hands, wrapped it in a tissue, and hid it in her pocket. I see you know I will definitely come to save you, so why don't you be too lazy to move? The beautiful girl with a round head added. Hee hee, Peach sister is the best. Come on, come on. But it's also true that we're flying well in the sky. Why did lightning strike on this sunny day? Unfortunately, a lightning bolt hit our plane. What a bolt from the blue. What a sudden disaster. They are two college students from Dongjiang University. Due to their excellent academic performance, they were selected by the Southeast Provincial Government to undergo a special training camp in the military region for half a month. A smooth journey, who would have thought that passing over the windy city, on a sunny day, was struck by a thunderbolt. The helicopter crashed, and the pilot who brought them disappeared. It seems that we missed this military special training camp assessment. Unfortunately, the school even gave us spots specifically, but The girl with a meatball head looked at the blazing fire on the mountainside, and her beautiful eyes couldn't help but show a hint of regret. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I can't go this time, but I wish I could go again next time. Sister Peach, based on our strength, no one in school can compete with us for a spot. Cold Qianluo tidied up his clothes and exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. What I care about now is not about special training, what I care about is the lightning that struck us down. Thunder and lightning. Do you suspect this is not a natural phenomenon, it's human-made? The girl with a meatball head asked. Han Qianluo nodded and said, At the moment when the lightning appeared, I felt the aura of magic. The girl with a round head looked at the map and frowned. Indeed, the thunderstorm on a sunny day is too bizarre, but if it's a wizard's skill, I don't think its direction is intentionally aimed at us. We should just have been accidentally hit by the thunder. Since it's not coming towards us and there's no battle, it's very likely that a magician was practicing elemental skills and accidentally injured us. Fengqing City, is there a high-level elemental mage from the Thunder series in this place? Han Qianluo shook his head seriously and said, I don't know, but I will investigate thoroughly. She patted the tree shavings on her body and found that her buttocks had been burnt black. Her face darkened, this was her favorite outfit. Anyway, we can't go to the special training anymore, we have plenty of time. Han Qianluo changed his previous silly and cute demeanor, his eyes icy, and he gritted his teeth. I know who did it, I must kill him. Azu. Lu Chen sneezed. Just now in the abandoned building, he tried all the elements he could think of, including wind, fire, lightning, rain, and civil engineering. It has to be said that the supernatural talent of speak and speak freely is truly amazing, and it can truly make him speak freely. With just a call, it can attract elements from heaven and earth, and from the range and effect of element gathering, it is majestic and full of oppression. But currently, he is unable to precisely control these massive elements and release them as skills. He could shout for thunder and lightning, but he didn't know how to use them to defend against the enemy. With tornadoes and lightning, Lu Chen couldn't control their landing points, and if he couldn't hit the enemy, it was just empty talk. Therefore, in order to accurately control and apply it to practical combat, it still requires a certain amount of time to study. On the way home, he realized the feeling of sensing the elements of heaven and earth. On the street, he saw a group of female warriors holding swords and shields, wearing warrior armor. Lu Chen didn't know which nerve had gone wrong. Seeing so many long swords, he felt an inexplicable palpitations. Sword. Finally, he couldn't hold back and became impulsive. In an instant, the metal elements within a radius of 1 mile became manic, and the long sword inside the scabbard trembled violently as if hearing the call of the sword god. Whoosh whoosh. A long sword emerged from its sheath and broke through the air, gathering in the sky above Lu Chen. And awkwardly, the metal elements summoned not only swords, but also warriors' shields, belts, shoulder armor, iron crotch pants, and even iron pocket clothes. Ah! Accompanied by the sharp screams on the street, Lu Chen was stunned and his eyes widened. He was frightened and ran away without saying a word. At the entrance of Lianyo's grocery store, Lu Chen was panting heavily. Wow, Big Brother is so amazing. He runs faster than the little rabbit I raise at home. A middle-aged woman and a boy walked out of the supermarket door. The boy saw Lu Chen running all the way and clapped his hands in joy, his eyes flashing. The middle-aged woman was holding a basket in her hand and nodded warmly when she saw Lu Chen. This is the brother of the small shop. Brother is so handsome. In the future, Long Long will also be like his brother and become a man with the same style. Lu Chen also politely smiled and passed by as he walked a distance from the entrance of the grocery store. The middle-aged woman restrained her smile and looked back with disdain. Pooh, 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 my dragon is going to become a professional, and we can't keep going for 3 years like that unremarkable kid. In the future, don't learn from him, do you hear me? For middle-aged women, Lu Chen, who had a significant improvement in their 4-dimensional attributes after a successful job transfer, naturally heard of it. But he didn't have much psychological fluctuation, nor would he blame her. After 3 years of repeating grades, he had already possessed a calmness far superior to his peers. Human nature is understandable. No one really hopes for you except for family and close friends, and no one cares about your intentions. They only judge people by appearances and rumors. After adjusting his breathing, Lu Chen walked into the grocery store. Mom, I'm back. That's right, this grocery store is owned by Deng Meihua, the mother of Lu Chen. Deng Meihua is an ordinary person, but not ordinary at the same time. In order to take care of her 2 children's education and support their families, she transformed the first floor of her home into a grocery store, selling scattered daily necessities. Over the years, she has been able to make both ends meet in life, and she has taken good care of both children. My mother was looking at the ledger when she heard a familiar call. Her fingers, which were quickly flipping the calculator, paused for a moment. She had a bad guess in her heart, but quickly resumed her previous movements. She was afraid of hearing bad results and even more afraid of the uncontrollable disappointment on her face being seen by Lu Chen, so she dared not look up and pretended to be busy with work. Chen, why are you coming back so early? Aren't we going to have a job transfer ceremony today? You don't know. At this point, normal students are still undergoing job transfers, but Lu Chen has already returned. Is it possible that, like in the previous 2 years, they have not been able to participate in job transfer awakening? Deng Meihua hesitated to speak, then seemed to have done a good job in psychological construction. With an encouraging smile, she comforted, "It's okay, we failed this time. There's another time. If it's a big deal, let's do it again. Dust is always the best, Mom believes in you. Are you hungry? I'll cook your favorite braised mandarin fish for you." Deng Meihua's behavior and demeanor have made Lu Chen very heartwarming. Over the years, Lu Chen has been able to survive without her support. But the question is, did the sadness and negation come too early? I don't believe your son too much, do I? Mom, I think you may have misunderstood. I attended this job transfer ceremony and successfully completed the transfer. Now, I am a professional. Chapter 6. No big or small, you'll get beaten up. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lu Chen's words abruptly stopped Deng Meihua's movements in her hands. She slowly looked up, looking at Lu Chen with some disbelief. Lu Chen had a smile on his face, straightened his chest, and raised his voice a bit. Mom, I have successfully transferred to another position. I am a summoner, and my awakening talent is still a B.level talent. I just wanted to go home early, so I came back after changing jobs. It's not as you expected that you couldn't attend the job transfer ceremony. Upon hearing this, Deng Meihua was stunned for a moment, and then an indescribable joy surged in her heart. Son, is what you said true? Lu Chen nodded heavily and said, Really, your son is now a professional. Deng Meihua smiled in tears and said, That's great, that's great. My son has successfully transferred to another position and is now a summoner. Deng Meihua immediately put down her work and tied up her apron. Mom will cook for you now, cook your favorite fish, and stir-fry a few side dishes to celebrate. It's also grilled fish, but at this moment, Deng Meihua's mood is completely different. Just now, I was afraid that my son would be sad and comforting the grilled fish. Now, I am happy and celebrating the grilled fish. She is full of energy. Watching his mother's happy expression, Lu Chen was also very happy. After suppressing his depression for 3 years, he was finally able to ease it. At the staircase on the second floor, Lu Lingyue leaned against the wall and pouted slightly, even with her waist inserted, silently watching her cheerful mother and Lu Chen standing there with a silly smile. Deng Meihua saw Lu Lingyue and greeted her, "Silly girl, what are you still doing there? Come down and give me a hand. Your brother has successfully transferred his job and is still a B.level talent. We need to celebrate well." Upon hearing his mother's words, Lu Chen suddenly realized and looked towards the staircase. At this moment, Lu Lingyue was also looking at him. "Yo, little sister, why did you come back when you didn't attend classes properly in college?" Lu Lingyue is 1 year and 3 months younger than Lu Chen, and 1 year older than Lu Chen. She is a freshman at Dongjiang University. The unified time for job transfers in major cities and counties is earlier than the holiday time for universities. At this point, universities have not yet had a holiday, and Lu Lingyue is concerned about Lu Chen's job transfer and specially took a leave to come back. The real situation is like this, and she was also very happy to hear the news of Lu Chen's successful transfer. But when it came to congratulating her, she couldn't say it. She pouted and said arrogantly, "You have to take care of it. I'll come back to my own home if I want to." "Humph, I didn't expect that you could still awaken your B.level talent. It's not a shame for your sister." Lu Lingyue's personality is well understood by Lu Chen, with a sharp tongue and a heart full of tofu. The relationship between siblings is very good. Before, Lu Lingyue liked to stick to him and was his follower. But from the year when Lu Chen was relegated, the two of them became somewhat distant due to their father, Lu Yangyu. In Longhua, the tuition fees for compulsory education are fully borne by the state, but the tuition fees for repeat education need to be fully self-funded. This money is not a small sum. In order to raise enough tuition fees, my father, Lu Yangyu, left his hometown and switched from transporting goods within the city to long-distance transportation, often unable to return home for several months. Lu Yangyu loves Lu Lingyue the most. Seeing Lu Yangyu leaving his hometown and working hard to earn money, and the whole family gathering less and leaving more, Lu Lingyue still has some resentment towards Lu Chen. "That's it." Lu Chen touched his nose and replied with a smile. Lu Lingyue came down from upstairs and walked up to Lu Chen, gesturing up and down with her eyes and hands. "He's still so much taller than me. You have grown taller." Lu Chenchong drowned and said. After entering university, Lu Lingyue underwent significant changes, her face grew wider, and her figure became even more upright. She turned around with a soft snort and said, "Do you still need to tell me? If your job transfer is successful, don't be complacent. Even with B.level talents, summoner is just a profession in the sewer, and your career path is still long. Moreover, you are 3 years behind your peers. Do you know how much progress Sister Tian and her team have made now?" Without refuting, Lu Chen still wore a smile on his face and said with unwavering determination, "I will work hard. Strive to become stronger, strive to make you all live a good life. This is not only my goal, but also my faith. It is something I believe must be accomplished in order to live in this world." Lu Lingyue tied up her apron to help her mother cut vegetables and cook, but she didn't respond. Instead, she muttered, "Who cares? And now, the strongest person at home is me. A boaster talks big. All right, you two siblings argue as soon as we meet. Mom knows, you're both good kids. Your damn father, knowing that you've all grown up, will definitely be very happy. He'll have to drink a few liang at least." Deng Meihua came out to smooth things out and served a plate of delicious dishes on the dining table. The siblings were so greedy that their mouths watered. Soon, they began to indulge in it. At the dinner table, Lu Chen and Lu Lingyue frowned and exchanged glances, their faces changing, and sometimes even fought with chopsticks over a chicken wing. "Mom, let me tell you, there are two amazing senior sisters in our school. One is a mecha technician, and the other is a very rare hidden profession. Their talents are all S.level. Wow, many people in school like them, and they are also my idols. After all, Lu Lingyue is still a little girl. When she returns home, she shares with them what she has seen and heard in school, chattering like a lark. Dongjiang University is truly one of the top 10 universities in the country of dragons. There are hidden dragons and tigers in the school, and many unpopular professions have also shone brightly. Among the influential figures in the school, there is a summoner. That summoner, his summoning beasts have a burly rock and stone man, as well as a close-fitting armor piercing through the mountains, which is mainly used for defense. Summoners are different from other professions, and their combat power is all reflected in the summoning beasts. Summoners themselves are very weak, and one can easily be injured or even killed in battle. Therefore, powerful summoners usually have a lineup of summoning beasts that are both offensive and defensive. When Lu Lingyue mentioned her idol, her eyes were shining, and when she mentioned the summoner, she spoke in both detail and rigidity. In fact, she was just telling Lu Chen about some experiences of summoners and how to choose summoning beasts. But she couldn't open her mouth and directly face Lu Chen, which would make her appear as if she cared about him. She didn't want Lu Chen to think that way. Her worried and concerned yet proud appearance made Lu Chen feel a bit amused. S-level makes you admire me so much. Do you know that your brother and I have the worst talent at SSS level? Lu Chen felt dark and happy, feeling guilty in his heart. He had previously delved into the knowledge points mentioned by Lu Lingyue, but he patiently listened to her and her mother's boasting. Having had enough to eat and drink, Lu Chen packed his dishes and planned to go upstairs to his room. Wait. Lu Lingyue reached out her hand and stopped Lu Chen. Lu Chen, have you heard what I just said? Although your talent is B.level, you are still a summoner. Summoners eat the level and talent of summoning beasts very much. The first summoning beast, I advise you to have done enough strategy and carefully consider before choosing. Watching Lu Lingyue's eyes bright and her face tense, with a serious expression on her face, Lu Chen smiled and rubbed her head. I got it, he said, then slide your hand naturally onto your face. However, But what? You need to change your temper. Remember to call yourself brother in the future. After pinching her cheek a few times, Lu Chen walked up the stairs and then dropped another sentence. It still feels like he used to have a chubby texture when pinched. Lu Lingyue, who had only realized it later, stood still, her face flushed to the base of her neck. She stomped her feet in anger and said, Lu Bangzi, you bastard. She cursed, touched her face, and coquettishly said to Deng Meihua behind her, Mom, look at him, you know you're bullying me. I have grown up now, and my face has become much more beautiful. It should feel more comfortable to touch. As the old saying goes, having a living treasure at home is a blessing from a past life, let alone a pair. Deng Meihua also smiled happily and said, when I was a child, I was cute with flesh, but when I grow up, I am beautiful. Everything is good. Chapter 7. Scouts of Bandar City. You are listening at novel full.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 8. Third Order, Commander Level. You are listening at novel full.audio. Lu Chen felt a bit uncomfortable because upgrading from second level to third level requires 100 gold coins, which is a whole 10,000 ocean. He still has over 50 gold coins in his hand, and there are still 50 gold coins left. Although second-level Warcraft is enough for him to pass through some simple dungeons, it still cannot allow him to gallop on the battlefield and dominate the crowd in the dungeons. How about borrowing some? Chen wanted to ask his mother for some, but he couldn't speak up. The current situation at home is not good, and Lingyue has not yet fully achieved self-reliance in college, which also requires expenses. In the past 2 years of his repeat studies, he has almost emptied his family's savings. 50 gold coins, which may not seem much, are actually a monthly expense for their family. Ordinary professionals earn only a few tens of gold coins a month. Now everyone is just transitioning and considering their own future. Those who should buy equipment and those who should buy materials will buy materials. Who would have the money? Ask the fat guy for some tips, but wait for me to repay him more when I have the money. Chen thought of his close friend Pang Fei and was about to make a phone call when suddenly a knock came from outside the door. Open the door, it's Deng Meihua. She held an envelope in her hand and handed it over as Chen opened the door. Chen, you have successfully transferred your job, and there's nothing my mom can help you with. This money has been saved bit by bit over the years, so take it. Xiaoye said, summoners' early summoning beasts are very important. We can't be considered a wealthy family, but we can't even afford a better summoning beast. This money is enough to buy an entry-level first-level Warcraft. Mom doesn't understand either. It's easy to choose, don't put too much pressure on it. Taking the envelope, Chen felt a heavy weight in his hand. He was both moved and a bit sad in his heart. Mom, thank you. Silly child, why would the whole family say, thank you, Deng Meihua smiled and then leaned in front of Chen and lowered her voice, a part of the money here belongs to Xiaoyu. She refuses to ask for living expenses, saying she can leave all the money for you. She can work part-time outside to earn money herself, and even patted her chest saying, Mom, professionals make money much faster than ordinary people. Let me not worry. But she's only a freshman, there's no easy way to make money. Xiaoye, she's sensible now. Deng Meihua sighed and said. She usually appears stubborn, but in reality, she cares more about her family than anyone else in her heart. Chen tightened the envelope and nodded heavily, Mom, I won't let you down. Also, I will definitely repay Xiaoye's living expenses. Other people's sisters can attend college without worries, and my sister Chen can do the same. Chen's expression was firm and unquestionable. In the past, you were protecting me, but now it's my turn to protect this home. The money was accepted by Chen because he knew that only by accepting the money could he become stronger and repay them. But in a situation like this, he never wants it to happen again in his lifetime. If you grow up and still can't let your family live a good life, they still need to work so hard. So what's the point of growing up? Returning to the room, Chen opened the envelope and poured out money. There were over 100 gold coins, and the remaining ones were all silver coins, about a few hundred. Converted to basic copper coins, the value is 20,000, plus my own over 5,000, more than enough. Evolve, Captain Scout. Chen activated the Heavenly Way contract, and the light of the contract enveloped the operation of the magic array under his feet. The Heavenly Way contract operates and exchanges contracts, resulting in a loss of 100 gold coins. The Scout Captain successfully evolves, Scout Captain, second level, excellent, Rabbit Baby. Scout Pioneer, third level, Commander, Rabbit Baby, an extra prefix. Chen was attracted by the title in front of him, and only then did he realize that the former scout had transformed from a mushroom hat on top of his head to a rabbit hat in military attire. His ears drooped, but behind him was an additional basket filled with strange carrots. As if thinking of something, Chen opened the skill bar, and as expected, a brand new skill emerged. Commander level skill. Radish Bomb. Set up a carrot trap that will explode when stepped on, dealing 200, intelligence, 20, multiplied by a coefficient of 10, magic damage within 3 seconds, and slowing the enemy by 30% for 3 seconds, cooldown time of 30 seconds, 1 carat bomb consumes 20 magic points. After reading the introduction of the new skills, Chen couldn't help but take a cold breath. It's truly a skill at the level of a third-level commander. The effectiveness of this skill is amazing. Summoning Beast. Rabbit Baby. Scout Pioneer, 3rd level, Commander level. LV1, Health. 1200 3000, Magic. 1500, Attack Power. 6100, Mana Strength. 5588 Movement Speed. 65108, Physical Antibody. 5078, Legal Antibody. 5280, Talent Coefficient. 5, Attack Coefficient. As an example, active skill, Scout Run. Enters Stealth Mode, increases movement speed by 30%, and gains a 40% attack power bonus when attacking enemies. Passive skill, Cute Toxins. The Swift Pioneer has Poison Sand in every common attack, which can deal 60 points of magic damage to enemies hit for 2 seconds, can be continued. Active skill, Lethal Blowing Flute. The Scout shoots a special poison arrow, causing a 2-second blinding effect. Under the blinding effect, the enemy's normal damage is invalidated and sustained toxin damage is attached. Commander level skill. Radish Bomb, range damage. Set up a carrot trap that will explode when stepped on, dealing 200, intelligence, 20, multiplied by a coefficient of 10, magic damage within 3 seconds, and slowing the enemy by 30% for 3 seconds, cooldown time of 30 seconds, 1 carat bomb consumes 20 magic points. That's just right. At the same level, with different levels, the difference is visible to the naked eye. In terms of attributes alone, the 3rd level Commander level Scout Vanguard is several times stronger than the ordinary Vanguard Scout. Including passive talents and skills, the combat effectiveness has directly increased by more than 10 times. Normally, if you want to buy a summoning beast with this talent level and attribute, you would get 1,000,000 gold coins, a whole small target, and it is still priceless. However, now through the Heavenly Way contract, Chen has spent a total of just over 100 gold coins. He nodded in satisfaction, with some remaining money in his hand. After thinking for a moment, he also purchased some life-saving potions. A small potion that replenishes 50 health at once costs 10 gold coins, while a medium-sized potion that replenishes 200 health at once costs 50 gold coins. Chen bought 2 medium-sized potions and 2 small potions for future use. His first level health is only 600 points, and his defense is not high. He cannot withstand several heavy injuries, and only with health can he be guaranteed. After all, battles in this world are real battles, and if your health value is empty, it represents true death. It is always right to leave some life-saving items on one's body, as people may stumble and horses may stumble. Looking at the summoning beast with a soft and cute appearance but powerful panel values, carrying health medicine, Chen's confidence exploded. Everything is ready, now it's time to participate in the beginner's trial. Chapter 9. Bringing a rabbit to dig carrots. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The professional venues set up in Fengqing City can be divided into 2 types. One type is group dungeons, which are places where everyone can enter to fight monsters and upgrade. Another type is team dungeons, which are limited by space and are separated from each other. Novice Trial Dungeon is a group-type dungeon that is open to all professions below level 5. It is equivalent to the existence of a novice village for all novice professionals to use, serving as a transitional zone for beginners to embark on the path of becoming professionals. Ding, did you spend 100 copper coins to purchase a beginner entrance ticket? Ding, successfully purchased the entry ticket and entered the beginner's trial field. The initial location for entering the novice trial field is in a field where endless carrots are planted. There are countless radish elves hidden in these radish fields. They are about the same size as normal carrots and like to insert their entire bodies into the soil. Once they sense an enemy invasion, they will break through the soil and enter a combat state. Radish Elf, regular level. LV1, attack power. 3, defense. 5, HP, 150/150, skill. Chain feet, in addition to health, all attributes are very average. Anyone who is a professional, even a girl who is afraid of battle, can kill her alone with a sword in front of her with her eyes closed. As soon as he entered the testing ground, Chen saw several battles not far away. A battle between a warrior and a carrot elf, where the warrior advances and chops horizontally and vertically. 13.152 swords fell and cut off 1/5 of the health of the carrot elf. In the gap between their attacks, the enraged carrot elf's black matchstick-like hands twitched with their fists, leaping high against the red radish. Continuously kicking the soldier. 3.3.3.3.3 The warrior also deducted some health, but compared to his total health of 800, it is insignificant. After a few rounds of fighting, he defeated the carrot elf. There is a female assassin not far from the warrior, whose body technique proficiency is significantly higher than that of previous warriors. She knows how to avoid damage and also knows how to search for the key parts of the carrot elf to attack. The damage dealt is generally above 15, and during a full round of combat, one is only attacked twice. On the other hand, there is a small team of 3 people who have been adapting to each other since their beginner stage, searching for ways to cooperate in battles, and using different attributes to obtain the optimal solution for the battle. Shield battle carries damage in front, and even a few carrot elves attacking together can only deal a few drops of damage. In the middle range, there are warriors chopping, while in the long range, an archer continuously outputs, and in a few rounds, they can kill several carrot sprites at once. Both the environment and combat atmosphere are very good. Retrieving his gaze, Chen took a deep breath and gently exhaled, feeling refreshed. After exercising his muscles and bones, he summoned out the rabbit baby scout vanguard. The appearance of the scout vanguard instantly caught the attention of many people. At Carrot's home field, a scout wearing an orange rabbit hat appears. "Are you sure you're not bringing your pet to work?" At this moment, a small team happened to have finished brushing a set of wild monsters and saw Chen and his summoning beasts. "Hey! Look, isn't that Chen from our class? Really, he's also here. Should we go over and say hello and invite him to join us? Farewell, he's just a summoner and doesn't help with our team's collaboration. And you see, his summoning beast. Poop, it's actually a rabbit. I'll go, he's a B.level talent summoner who doesn't choose either combat or defense-based warcraft. Surprisingly, he just chose a cute pet that can't do anything. What does he think? It's too childish, I don't understand. I think he has been repeating a grade for 3 years, his mind has been left blank. A B.level talent awakened to him is simply a waste." The 2 boys in the team were chatting with great humor in their words. There was a girl who couldn't stand their words and said, "I think summoning beasts are cute and lovely. What's the use of cuteness? Can it be eaten as food?" The dominant boy disdains it. Chen doesn't seem like the kind of person you're talking about. Maybe even though its summoning beasts are small, their strength is not bad. Then I really want to see how impressive it is. I hope we won't even be able to defeat the carrot elf later. He sneered and waited quietly to watch the good play. However, the next second, his smile froze instantly, followed by shock, a face full of shock. What did they see? I saw that the mini-summoning beast only lightly sprinkled a handful of poison sand and hit the radish elf, and then an incredible damage value appeared above its head. 99 and this is only the numerical damage of regular attacks, not including the highly toxic effect of passive poison sand. The cute toxin effect is triggered, and the carrot sprite continues to lose health. 60.60 150 HP is not enough for it to drop, and as soon as it triggers the passive effect, it dies. A quick kill, and it's just a regular attack. They looked foolish at people directly. The male student who had previously mocked and teased Lu Chen turned pale at this moment. He closed his eyes and shook his head, then opened his mouth and said, "It's impossible, it's absolutely impossible. He can only deal around 25 damage with a fierce slash from a melee warrior. Can a summoning beast as small as Lu Chen deal nearly 4 times his damage? This is too outrageous. The visual impact it brings them is too great." A few people were stunned and stood still for a moment, unsure of what to say. Rabbit-type summoning beast Chenka carrot monster, with absolute racial suppression. But that's also a rabbit. I don't think I'm dizzy. A regular attack can instantly kill a carrot monster. No dazzle, I saw it too. The damage is so high, summoner, so powerful. I also have many awakening summoners around me, they seem quite average. How could they? Is it possible? The most powerful profession is not summoner, but Lu Chen. One word shattered the person in the dream, and everyone was suddenly enlightened. Is B.level talent already so terrifying? The warrior man led by him was not convinced and gritted his teeth, saying, he must have used some props or skills similar to regular attacks. He knew about Lu Chen's family background and couldn't afford high.level rare summoning beasts. Not to mention high.level ones, even entry.level ones were difficult. How did he do it without high.level summoning beasts? This is unreasonable. Is it a unique early talent? No, it's impossible to have such abnormal talents. So, it can only be achieved by using basic items in the mall that have a certain amount of damage, and releasing significant power at once. The price is around 10 gold coins, which can effectively improve the efficiency of monster fighting and upgrading in the early stage. He has used it several times before, but due to its low cost effectiveness, he did not continue to purchase it. Let's go take a look, there must be some tricks involved. We are far away and can't see clearly. Let's get closer and take a look. He rushed over at first, hoping to see the result he wanted to see. Lu Chen used damage insurance items with low cost effectiveness, rather than really being so powerful. Near the farmland area where the land dust battle was taking place, a prominent red flag was placed on the stem of the field, fluttering in the wind. The front is a personal combat area, please do not step in. In public copies, in order to prevent various unnecessary disputes, such as wild competition, experience theft, accidental injury and conspiracy, etc. The Professional Alliance has regulations that before engaging in monster spawning, one must first divide their own battle area, with a limited size, to prevent accidental intrusion. In this way, many combat disputes can be avoided, and even if something unpleasant happens, responsibilities can be divided according to the identification and handled in accordance with the law. Xiao Heba, the area ahead is where Lu Chen is fighting. He has already planted a flag, and we cannot go over there anymore. If there are any traps or similar inside, we won't be responsible for any combat disputes. Someone in the team reminded me. Xiao Heba stopped and realized that he couldn't see the battle ahead clearly from this position. He waved his hand and said, "They are all beginners, who is still setting traps in their own combat area. As for the combat responsibility, rest assured. His summoning beasts are helping him fight, and he doesn't do anything. At most, he just commands a bit and won't hinder him." He spoke confidently, and the other few people seemed to make sense upon hearing it. So we stepped into the battle area limited by Lu Chen together. But shortly after entering, a carrot on the ground unexpectedly did it explode. Bang! At the moment of the carrot explosion, a strong toxin quickly spread from the feet to the surroundings, and everyone felt a dizzy sensation flashing through their brains. Immediately, the damage value appeared above everyone's heads. 66.67.68. I'll go, is this a trap? Can anyone tell me why this carrot can explode? Moreover, this carrot is so poisonous. My health drops so quickly, and the damage of this carrot explosion can withstand that carrot elf kicking me in the head 100 times. Also, my feet feel like they've been filled with lead, heavy and unable to walk, slowing down the effect. Coincidentally, the sudden explosion of carrots caused everyone to panic, and in the panic, someone stepped on 2 carrots that could explode. Bang bang. 2 radishes exploded consecutively, and several people's health plummeted to below half health, leaving less than a quarter in the end. What should I do? What kind of thing is this? It's too toxic, isn't it? My health is over 800, and now I only have 200. I feel uncomfortable all over now, feeling powerless all over. A few people were afraid of being poisoned alive by the poison from the carrot bomb. The novice village has encountered a life and death crisis, which is truly extraordinary. Here, if you die, you are truly dead. There is no chance to do it again. An unprecedented sense of fear swept through the body, and everyone stood huddled in a position in the middle, afraid to move around, looking flustered and sweating profusely. At this moment, a young boy's indifferent and ethereal voice sounded not far away. If you don't want to die, just retreat back to the outside of the combat area. Chapter 10. Ask yourself, are you compatible? You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator.